said, pretty bad, but pretty good. My love for Blake Seven is a strange thing, right? It's certainly a strange thing. Let me pull up the episode. You know what I watched last night? Again, when I took my night off, I watched. Where did I start with? Did I start with Sopranos? Because I was watching Penguin and not enjoying it. I watched the first episode and said, I'd rather watch Sopranos. Started watching the second episode and said, rather watch Sopranos, right? And then I got about halfway through the second episode. I really wasn't digging it. I said, you know what? Why not I just watch Sopranos, right? Wouldn't that be a great idea? Yeah. So anyway, animals. So the reboot, I know it's the reason. I wouldn't call it a soft reboot. I wouldn't call it a hard reboot either. It's like the reasonable, the semi, the semi-hard reboot, right? Is done, right? It's over by this point, by episode 5, and there's a whole new setup. They've replaced Liberator somewhat unconvincingly with Scorpio and what's the name base? What's the name of the planet? Not Xenon base. What's the name of their base? Oh, not Echo base. What's it? Blake 7. I'm gonna look it up. Blake 7 season 4. Xenon base, was it? Xenon base. It is Xenon base. Oh, okay, look at me. I'm quite happy now, right? I'm quite happy. So, yeah, they replaced Liberator with Xenon base. Not very convincingly, right? So much so that I've come up with lots of ways they could have done it. They've been in exactly the same place and it would have been a lot better. But essentially, you have a guy who's not Dorian Gray called Dorian, who's completely based on Dorian Gray. He had a sea devil in his basement in Xenon base that sucked up all his, ne'er-do-worldness, all his badness, right? All his degeneracy. And that way he stayed young and fresh. And I think probably died from AIDS shortly thereafter, as every attractive man on British TV in 1980 apparently did. Man, a lot of people died, right? A lot of people died. But so they replaced it with Scorpio. I love Scorpio. Don't be wrong. I love Scorpio. I love the model work. The model work's fantastic. I love a lot of it. I mean, really, it needed this update, and it became much more contemporary. I'm just surprised it didn't get another season after this, frankly. And I like Slave a lot. Oh, I love the design of Slave. So they got this base. They have a ship that had a sort of working teleport nearly there, and so they needed to get these crystals out of these bunch of strange accented, very hot women who also lived on Xenon, the planet Xenon base was on, which changes radically every time you see it, right? When we saw it in those episodes, I think episode 2, right? Power, which actually that episode has really grown on me. The more it sat with me, right? No, you're right. Episode, well, I looked it up. Xenon base, definitely Xenon base, right? You mean unpaid intern? What are we talking about? I can't remember. Anyway, so they had a nearly working teleport. There was a weird battle of the sexes going on the planet on Xenon base, where the hot women had telekinesis, but basically couldn't protect themselves from a good bitch slap. And then they had these magic crystals taken out of them, and they were taken as wives, which to me sounds like they were raped. But then 10, 20 years later, they kind of like being wives. That's the strange thing, right? They kind of like, oh, it's nice to be with a bloke. But so then they had a working teleport, and then we had the bizarre space rats. I love space rats. Like Gary Glitter in space, hopefully a less paedophile, right? Who had this super fast drive, right? If Christian made it, it would be called Fake Seven and star a bunch of completely unqualified women. So they got super fast ship, they got a teleport, and Servalan. I can't remember why they thought she was dead, but she's back. Oh right, because she fell out the bottom of Liberator at the end of Turbulence, but she's back somehow. And now she's Sleer, and she's kind of a Cryolord, but she's climbing her way up again. This newly built Federation, right? So it's a redesigned show somewhat. Avon is very much, oh my God, the performances that saves every episode of Blake Seven, right? So anyway, so we're on was it episode 5, which is Animals, and I love these new opening titles. They are absolutely freaking awesome, right? I mean, just so good. And I just think so much better than the original one. And again, thank you, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, for making all this possible. Oh God, and yes, Deep Space. I love that. I'm sorry, I freaking love that. They should have the Blake 7 logo come more out of the Deep Space mode. Now, when you finally see the logo, it's less impressive. Ba-bum-ba, bum-bum-ba, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, also, we have brand new eye candy with Suyin, Glynis Barber. Oh, God, whose ass looks just fantastic in that costume. And Josette Simon as Dana. Oh, she's hot. Both of them. I mean, like, that would be my all-time fantasy threesome, right? I mean, they'll probably kill me, but I don't know. And yeah, so Animals by Alan Pryor. Alan Pryor's got he's done a bunch, hasn't he? He was definitely a jobbing writer at the time. Alan Pryor, TV writer. Let's see what he's done. Alan Pryor's got a Wikipedia page. Died in 2006. Fine, did Zcars, Softly. Wrote several episodes of Blake 7, a bunch of novels. Let's see what episodes of Blake 7 he wrote. Is it not telling me? America, Armchair Theater, The Charmer, Perfect Hero. Okay, fine. It doesn't tell me what episode. Let's see if I can see on the Blake 7 page. Is there an episode guide? Series 2. No. Fine, but he's not new to this format, right? And, there's a big gulf between script and screen. And again, open up. I love these new effect shots. They are just fantastic, right? And honestly, for was this 80, 81, it's so stepping up to really do the best that BBC could do. I'm really impressed with this stuff. And you can tell they're using a digital process of the Star Wars, mapping thing. Great model work. Oh, fantastic. And actually kind of like the new set. So we have Dana and Tanner out on a mission. See, this is why I had to review this now. I can't remember why they're on the mission. But something else, I say this every review. Something else I love about season 4, I like the thing, the sound that when they pull out any of their guns. So they're off to check something out. And again, I wasn't paying attention because I was checking her out, okay? Which I think is perfectly normal, right? I do. I think, yes. So they... Now I've got to listen to it, see what they're doing.
I only hope your mad scientist is going to be worth the trouble.
All right. Fuck me, how did I forget this? So they're going to... They got a contact from a mad scientist that who apparently was Dana's lover, right? And they really weirdly introduce it, right? But they're on the way to find her. New teleport control. She beams down. I mean, even Tarrant looks good. I mean, like this is a very photogenic cast. Far too photogenic for England. And there are these animals which are being augmented that they run into. Terrence attacked and has to do a runner, I guess. Right? And I know she's sexier because when she's holding a gun. I've never been into that, but I'm into that with her. Right? So they can't beam her back up. He needs to go back to base, doesn't he, to rescue her. And he's like, Og, let her in. What's he doing?
There is food there. Food, Og.
Literally, his name's Og. I was taking a piss, right? So they're saying, go get yourself something to eat. Let Dana in. And again, it's very subtle how they came out that they were. The vibe is that he was the person who took her virginity, right? And so they've got this very like affectionate and somewhat cold relationship at the same time. But again, it's always the performances and the human interaction, right? I think also putting it in such a very bleak and very, very interesting, dark dystopian sci-fi world, right? So he's been augmenting these animals to make troops for the Federation. And she's like, not how what's going on.
Of the Federation.
Relevant to war, in fact.
Possibly.
Unless the Federation have become pacifists.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, he's making super soldiers, kind of a go-to device. At the same time, is this Servalan? Well, I kind of like this new ship design they got there. You can see Matt Irving knocking this together in an afternoon.
What is all?
And honestly, what's going on Doctor Who though? The special effects on this are better than Doctor Who. So fine. So she's on her way to the same place. And again, I don't know how nobody knows she's Servalan. Wasn't she famous? And she's so Servalan. Oh, right. So I forgot. This is the one where she's working. Is this one where she's got a spy that she's working with?
Anything at all?
No, that was the last one. My mistake.
Named Justin, nothing else.
A planet hopper that can outrun a pursuit unit. Hovering over a useless planet that has been a...
Fine, so Servalan's noticed them. And again, you would have thought at some point they're going to be kind of happy to, for him to get his leg over, right? But apparently not. So yeah, they have to go back to Xenon base. Again, great effects, great model work. It's been a long time since Till Avon shows up. And somebody reading a review of a Blake 7 once, where someone said Paul Darrow doesn't act, he darrows, right? And he does. He's got this great glower. Honestly, wouldn't it be great to see a Star Trek with a completely amoral captain like him? And I love that he's amoral. Oh, so good.
Mission control system.
60% capacity is now restored. The fault in anti-grav gyro remains.
We know it remains. We're trying to find it, aren't we?
So again, basically, it's a bit of like, what's the word I'm looking at? It's a bit of a French farce of an episode, right? Where Servalan's coming and they're trying to fix Liberator's not Liberator. Scorpio's coming, and the only person not coming is Dana's Imzadi.
Orders ball. I did.
Right, and it's her dressing down a bloke and looking meek as always. Tell you, I'm really surprised I'm not more into submission after being so into Blake 7, because there's so much about it about having men be submissive to Servalan, which I think it's kind of weird fare for like an 8-year-old's TV show. But there was a lot of that in there. But then Avon was always so madly he got the upper hand, right? So so fine. So he's saying you break the rules. I don't care. I made the rules. And then this, he's in everything. Well, isn't this Brett Vaughn from Invasion? Right. Fine. Yeah. So his eyesight's gone. and she's had him. This is an old guy who she had brought up to see if she recognizes him, and I think he does. And then he goes, "No, I've no idea who you are," and it's not really good enough. And he's killed. He's dead. He's dead by the end of the episode. They sent Villa down to the gunk tank to fix the fort in Liberator. I tell you, Villa gets all the shitty jobs. I mean, he really does. I don't know. I always liked Michael Keaton. Villa was totally my favorite character. I love a bit of Avon glowering.
Is the navigation system fully operational now?
No. It is recommended that a further overhaul of the glycoline ballast channels be carried out.
What? It's lucky you didn't get cleaned up.
Or boozed up.
Will you settle for fed up? It's somebody else's turn.
Try and do it right this time, Villa.
I would love to have a personal AI assistant with the personality of Avon. Honestly, the animals in the plot become the least interesting thing, and she tries to make friends with them. I can't remember what happens. I don't really care, frankly. Oh God, yes. This bit's also weird. So they capture Dana, right? And then they use this weird. See, the animals are really completely, somewhat irrelevant to the whole episode. They're just a MacGuffin to get everybody in the place together. And this weird hypnotherapy performed by Servalan to make her hate her lover, who apparently up until this point, I thought she had affection for him because she was her first, but now she's desperately in love with him, right? So Servalan does this thing to get information to find out about this guy, convincing her that she hates him. Brainwashed her, and again another great Scorpio shot. Oh, I wish they had so much great Liberator. And so now he thinks that what's-name's dead, Dana's dead, so he goes and has a skinful. Oh, yeah, can I get more of that shot? I didn't even get a hand job from little Dana. Ba-ba-ba. Okay, so she's convinced she hates him, and now spoiler warning. it's only 44 years old. Spoiler warning. Actually, what year did this come from? Hang on. 81. Fine. So then these new Federation guards show up, which are a lot sexier, but again, this seems like a weird porno version of Blake 7.
It can be reversed.
With their outfits. So she's convinced them. Finally, Avon and the rest crew show up. Paul Darrow's pissed off. He has to go to location. And also, I mean, man, it's a very good-looking cast, this, isn't it? It's strange for an English show to have such a good-looking cast. These are the animals he's been working on, and he's going to be brown bread by the end of it. Much like what's his name was. Did he die off screen? No, I don't know who you are at all. Honestly. Oh right, so she was giving him shit before because he launched. He sent that guy to him on a ship which didn't have a flight plan, right, which is illegal. And said, I make the rules. And now because he's flying back, and she blows him up. Do we see him blow up?
Is everything satisfactory?
When you dispatched Ardis here to me, did his pilot file a flight plan?
No, Commissioner. Everything was as you instructed.
They never arrived here, Ball.
But they must have done.
Did we see it blow up? I can't remember. I think was it just before? That looks like a control they're using to blow something up. Off you go then, to your death. Don't worry, darling. So no, but that was just a communicator talk to the lackey. Oh, there he is. There he's about to go. Let's just
record on a scientist named Justin, a genetic.
Again, I just want to point out how contemporary, like what a shift this season's made. Look how 80s their hair are, the early 80s. Very what's the name? Not Sinead O'Connor, who just annoys me. Breaking Glass. Who starred in that? Hazel O'Connor. Boom. Okay, yeah, he goes. But I was going to be in time slip soon. Fine. So they make it down. They get Dana. You know this guy's going to get killed. And I think they've. I love them charging in. Like for essentially a pilot crew, how does he have such like intense control over the crew? I forgot he did that and he slips. Oh God, I love the BBC. Let's see that again. And he carries that off really well, right? He carries off excellently. So they get him, and now they're going to brainwash Dana into loving him again, which is okay. I want to show you this. It's the weirdest brainwashing scene I've ever seen. Doink.
Dana, respond.
You love him. You love him, Dana.
I mean, that's just somebody else who can stand there saying that over and over again. And so they make it off somehow. But of course, he dies. Yeah, she dies tragically. And I can't remember this. How did she get off the ship? How did you get off the ship?
Captain, prepare for immediate liftoff.
I think maybe they landed then. I don't know. But again, thoroughly enjoyable, 50 minutes of TV, right? Thoroughly enjoyable. I'm just loving this rewatch, right? Absolutely loving it. Obviously, yeah, you knew it was going to be brown bed by the end of it. Oh, they should have just left me hating you. Would have been much easier. All right, that was Animals. So next, I think, far superior episode with the only drawback, right? Literally the only drawback is the chief monster antagonist it doesn't have a head and is clearly wearing an outfit that covers up his head. I don't know, maybe we should have bowed it. It's not very successful. I mean, Zaphod Beetlebrox's second head, way more successful. That gives you an idea of how unsuccessful it was. Headhunter. Again, interesting little story. Roger Parks. So again, the ongoing theme right now is they're going and picking up as many scientists and things like that as they can for this future rebellion they're going to have. Oh, man, it's slave talking. I love slave talking.
Ordnance 850 by 281.
I like watching him talk. So they're on the mission this week. All right, to pick up. Who is it? Is that Blake 7? Blake 7 Head. Is it Headhunter? Is it the episode? Okay. Who's the cast in this? Plot. It was fine. Muller. Just Linda Belly. Bellingham. It was Linda Bellingham, looking, I think, rather dishy, right? Rather dishy. So she's married to another brilliant scientist. This time, somebody who does stuff with robots, right? And they're going to pick him up because they're going to be helpful in their campaign against the Federation. Tarrant and Villa go there, which is a weird combination because Tarrant hates Villa, doesn't he?
I don't know.
Fine, so they have a teleportation system. Dun 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 dun. Oh, you don't have that this season. So yeah, this is the scientist guy, and something dodgy is going on with him straight away, right? He's like it's a bit very Frankenstein-y, right? And there's somebody there, dead as a door now, right? So somebody comes in, he clops on her head. And they go to Scorpio. Then he goes batshit crazy and tries to kill everyone. Oh, he's got this very important box with a head that we don't know it's got a head in it. Very very important box in it. That again, the story doesn't really make any sense, right? It really makes little to no sense. Am I going to explain it retroactively? No, I'll wait for it. I'll come with the plot holes as they come along, right? Steve says, but say for the brief, second head looks exactly how a humanoid with a second head looks like when he's second head always would be underfed with the blasting. I think you're reading too much. It looks like a radio control model, right? It looks like a radio control model. Can you imagine Blake 7 made with the current day SFX? Oh. See, again, that just hurts me because, wouldn't it be awesome? Like, wouldn't it be absolutely fantastic to do that? But you would also make it with current day sensibilities. That's why I'm looking forward to the Blu-rays coming out next month, right? With brand new effects. Oh, what I've always wanted. Finally enough, I was going to say, was that being hyperbolic? No, it's actually what I always wanted. I'm not even exaggerating. It's like, I also got the second volume of the Doctor Who backup strips, which I'm loving. Oh, I'm still reading the first volume. I'm loving that, right? And so the backup strips as the collection, it's something I've always wanted. They're very, very interesting, right? I love what they're doing with them. So anyway, Tarrant shows up. The scientist says we need this box, very, very important. He goes crazy, and Villa accidentally kills him, right? So, let's get him into this. We've never mentioned before this Medi unit thing. Again, I love a bit of slave talking.
Prognosis scan.
Scan negative.
Repeat.
Repeat prognosis scan negative.
He's dead, all right.
Confirmed.
I like it because as he gets more infected by this evil machine, he gets more grumpy as it goes along, slave. So, tell Gina Bellman and Bellingham, and she's like, what did you do? No! Now my Dana Suyin threesome, I think I've got to let Linda Bellingham in as well. It will be rude not to, right? It would be rude not to. You know me, I wouldn't want to be rude. So fine, they're bringing him back, and the guy they clobbered to get out wakes up and he finds the body is headless, right? Headless body under the table. I think that's a good way of describing me many an evening. So the weird things start happening on Scorpio whenever they touch the box, right? It rocks around and tries to kill them in different ways. So they finally get, and it's always when they touch the box, right? Villa tries to open it, nothing doing, right? So eventually they make it back to Zedon base while Paul Dara just simmers all the way through this. And again, look, honestly, this reboot would have been so much. You could have done basically everything the same. I like the new set, right? You could have had Dorian been working on a craft based on the Liberator technology that he found over a few hundred years, and put it into the space hopper. Yeah, at least I think that would have made a lot more sense. That might even actually been, but that had been the plot, but it wasn't very clearly set out. And I don't know what Glynn's Barber's saying here. and I don't really care. All right, I'm just happy to look at her. So they make it back to. Are they back to Zen on base yet? There's a lot of melodrama about getting back to Zen on base, and suddenly all the life support goes out, and they got to work out how to. So Aurak freaks out and says, "You got to cut off teleport contact with Scorpio. It'll be the end of everything, right? It will be the absolute end of everything." If the scientist gets down here on gets near him, right? So all the again the human drama going out throughout this, I think, is so convincingly portrayed that I think that's one of the reasons why this is just so enduringly great. So they get spacesuits on, and who is it? This is Tarrant saving Villa or Villa saving Tarrant? Hang on. I can't really tell. And again, I love how I'm going to say it's Tarrant saving Villa because that will make me happy, right? So then Avon gets talked into opening up the teleport again to go and rescue them, and they bring them back, but also the body they had has vanished. So they go back to Scorpio. Everything's fine. The body's gone, and he's creeping around in the background of Zen on base, right? Just being generally quite creepy, and Aurak is generally freaking out. There's a great little scene here.
Creations.
You, for instance.
It is vital that you render me inoperative.
I'm sorry.
You must then conceal me securely until you destroy the intruder.
So that's the underlying thing going for it. And the basic idea is if this intruder does get hold of Aurak, it's the end of everything, right? And kind of like I wouldn't mind seeing an alternate reality where that does happen. That sounds like it'd be really interesting. So Gina Bellman shows up again. Data's been knocked out. Oh, and so he's back, right? And she's like, "Oh, my love, you're here," and she kills it. He kills her.
Let her go!
Yeah, that's a good death scene you're doing there, Gina, Linda, darling. And he has control over weapons. Like the Tarrant's about to shoot him, and
I said stop.
And he can make their guns super hot, much like Dana and Suyin, and Linda Bellingham for that matter. So now they're running around Zen on base trying to avoid him. Right? They split up. Dana and Tarrant take on the scientist guy. And Villa finally gets a chance to get inside the box. Get in that box. And there's a nice little tense scene where Suyin creeps up on him, and he thinks it's the robot, right? And they think they destroyed him. See, this is a bit I remember from when I was a kid watching this, right? I have a very clear memory of this thing. Yay, we got it. And again, we also seen this in just about every genre show, but I love seeing it in this one.
Now he really is a corpse.
Wait.
Oh my God, it's like those rocks are styrofoam, right? Does he get with it? Does he? Oh yeah. So he doesn't have his head now, and it's just clearly a guy with his doing this. It's just clearly that. But again, I think this is something I love about Blake 7. Right? It's played so straight, and it's so like dark and evil and dirty, right? And then you have these like really bad production values sometimes. Juxtaposed with what I think is very good production value, it just makes it so much more fun. Fine. So this is what was in the box. It was a robot head. And look, eventually, look, the story is basically that this is the ultimate creation of that scientist who then, and the plan doesn't really make much sense. The robot then killed him and removed his head to put on his head, right? So he will be taken back with him, but he really ultimately wants this head put on with him. He brought that head with him. But also, if he is a new species, and if he teams up with the power of Aurak, he'll take over Aurak, and they will destroy the universe together, right? So for some reason, it wants the head. Why didn't just put the head on to start with? Show it moving.
That thing has remote circuit control.
Guns tend to blow up.
You are no longer masters, but mastered.
Yeah. So yeah, it's humanity is basically done for, and they do a was it a runner? So I think that's not a great segue where they go out onto the now they're onto the surface of Zedon base, and it looks nothing like it did in Power. Now it's like the epic forest. I don't understand. Reproductive energy. Can you remember Chelmsford 123? I love that. When you could see the mattress being pushed into position for the knockout scene. I don't remember that, but what can you do? So now, he's trying to get to Aurak. Oh yeah, fine. So they remember there was an old abandoned hydroelectric station, right, which they can hook up as a trap to get this robot, but because you can't stop the water turning the hydroelectric dam wheel thing, and it's Dana and Tanner's job to go and get that sorted out. Well, they prime this this trap. Su Yin's is about to shit herself. She's so exhausted, right, coming up all these bloody stairs, right? And also Aurak is like, join us, Dana. You know, we will treat you well as our slave.
Clear. Join us, Sulin. We can fulfill your every desire.
Listen, I'm pretty sure that Sulin can fulfill my every desire, right? I'm 100% certain of that. So they get it all sorted out. They use Aurak as bait, and eventually they get this dam working. I love all the studs on his gloves. You know what? I think I said this last review. Every costume here looks like it was drawn by Steve Dillon, right? As I said, I've been reading the Doctor Who magazine backup strips collection they just brought out. The first one, as I said, the second one's coming soon. And they go between Steve Dillon and David Lloyd as the artist. This is so 1980 Steve Dillon, right? This is exactly how he would have designed things. So they get the hydroelectric dam going. Whoa, blows up. Knocks out the robot. So now, was it Avon? Avon wants to put the head on, right? The scientist's crowning achievement. He wants to give it a bit of head. Also, put the head on because it's a conscience, right? And the conscience should be able to meter his incredible power, right? So he's like, yes, we're going to do it. And it's weird. We get a scene, an ending, very reminiscent to Doctor Who and the Silurians, right? From 1970. I mean, 1970, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be 1970, right? Where the Brigadier, after subduing the Silurian threat, then blows them all up, right, while they're helpless and asleep. So basically the same thing happens here. Aurak gets them to put mines on everything. What happened? How did he get knocked out? By putting the head on, because there's all the thing as he put the head on. So they mine him. And eventually Avon wakes up. Oh, good. Now this is going to be an incredible asset for our fight against the Federation.
The inhibitor head.
Like a charm.
Good.
That circuit influencer will be invaluable to us as a weapon.
It will be non-existent as a weapon. And again, his reaction is very much like when they blow up the robot, very much like John Pertwee Doctor Who, when they blow up the Silurian. Well, that's the glove gone. He must be destroyed now.
End of problem. Right, Aurak?
Prospects for organic humanoid life are now secured.
Muller's android?
Gone to the...
Oh, the guy's name was Muller. But doesn't he have a pithy last name?
Great cyberneticists in the sky.
You fool. It's superstitious half-wits like you who hold back every advance we make.
And arrogance, Avon, like yours and Muller's, which threaten to destroy.
Shut up!
Again, you know, the human drama between these people, brilliant, right? It's genuinely brilliant, right? It's it drives the whole thing forward, right? Absolutely drives the whole thing forward. And I think it's why we're still talking about it. What, 45 years later? How many years? 43 years later? 44 years later? 43 years later?
Yes, Master.
That's a great closing line. Man, I am enjoying this rewatch. I am massively enjoying this rewatch. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.